They've become really special to us, and I know special to all of you guys in the area. And it's amazing the things that you can learn when you surround yourself with awesome people. So 2 more awesome NMDs, and then we're going to do the roundtable. Lacy, Berryman, and Thurman. And Lacy's baby.
How's everybody do? Hello? Oh. How's everybody doing? Good. All right. I need everybody to stand up really quick. We're going to do something crazy. All right? This just literally popped in my mind. It's not crazy. I want you to find 2 people and tell 2 people, I believe in you. Anybody, go ahead. Tell 2 people, I believe in you. So I wanted to do that for a couple reasons. Number one, just it's good to stand up, and number 2, like usually we ask, like, is it okay if we be real? I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to be real. So I think as we're talking to people, as we're prospecting people, just in general, like, I don't think people get compliments as much anymore. And I know we got up and it was kind of silly or whatever, but it does feel good, even when it's scripted like that or whatever. It does feel good when you, pardon me, it is, Jane gave me a great granola bar over there, and it's still, some of it's in there. It feels good when people say, you know, I believe in you. And you can't imagine what that does for somebody. You know, even myself, if somebody in my upline says, Cole, you got this, I believe in you, it means a lot. So, just curious, just so I don't repeat a bunch of stuff I've said today and in the past, too, raise your hand. I think most of you have kind of heard my story. Raise your hand if you've never heard me talk, you've never heard my story. Okay. Okay, cool. That's about 35% have it. So I'll give you the quick version here. I got started about 3 years ago. I had tried a bunch of other stuff in the were you all here primarily at the market party too? Okay, cool. I'll go quick with this. But I just want you guys to know that every feeling, every emotion you've experienced in doing this, I've had it. We've all had it. I can remember about 8 months in, when I was still living with my sister and Jason. It's about 8 months in. It was Valentine's Day, and I had no money to buy my girlfriend at the time three roses, because I mean, a dozen roses, that's a little overkill. That's like you done something wrong. So I had no money. I was a senior director, but it was just a battle every month. Me and Jason, we had this joke every month. For the last 3 days of the month, he used to do this. I was running back to senior director, begging people to join my team and all that stuff. And I was struggling. All the money I made from Nerium went back into my business, whether that was driving to a party, 3 hours, nobody shows up. Anybody ever have a party where nobody shows up?
Yes.
All right. Well, as Amy alluded to earlier, I probably, with the exception of a few other people here, I've probably been to more parties where no one showed up. I've been to parties 4 hours away. I drove to a party. It was 4.5 hours away. It was in Peoria, Illinois. And the person, my brand partner, didn't show up to their own party. So, we've done it all. I've had people who got my night cream and pumped it all out in a plastic cup and gave me back an empty bottle. It happens, unfortunately. But one of the slides that they show in this regional sometimes is it's a roller coaster. I'll be 100% honest right now. I've been on a major, major roller coaster the last 30 days. Brief story. There's a guy in another company that I know, and they sell skin products from the Dead Sea. Secret. It's called Secret. And this guy, him and I are pretty good friends, and he resigned from Secret. He had some issues there. A bunch of stuff happened, and he resigned. He has, I think, 35,000 people on his team. Okay, so he gives me a call, right? Call and thinking about joining Nerium. And I'm like, I'm freaking out. That's 20 times, 30 times as many people I have on my team if he was to bring them all over. And I know he's not going to bring 35,000 people over, but he had about 300 people that he was going to bring over to their team. And whichever way he went. So, this process lasted, about 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks of the biggest torture of my life because it's between Nerium and a burning ship called Jeunesse. So out of all the companies in the world, he's choosing the one that we know is the best versus a burning ship who's under more attack than any other company right now. The FTC is going really hard after companies. Basically, they want companies' customer base to be 50%. Like 50% of your revenue is to come from customers. Minnie mentioned earlier, ours is 73%. So, what does that mean? It means we have a product that people actually want. And there's so many companies that, like I mentioned, it sounds like I'm slinging mud today, but no one's going to buy their energy drink by my choice. I can go to the gas station and get a Red Bull for a third of the price. No one's going to, in other words, people are buying their products to satisfy a compensation plan. We know they're dangerous. We know, all that stuff. And he was just, I don't know if he was playing with me or what, but it was one day I'm doing Nerium, next day Jeunesse, Nerium, Jeunesse. And it's a roller coaster, isn't it? That's a roller coaster when it's just a normal person. Well, which he's a normal person, well, normal, but this is a big deal. I talked to him last week, and he goes, well, I think I'm going to launch Jeunesse. And I kind of saw it coming, so I wasn't too upset, but I was upset. Good news is they're probably going to be out of... Should I say that? Maybe I shouldn't, but it doesn't look good because I The dude's jumping on a burning ship. I said, I look forward to working with you. And I said that. And he's a great guy. I know 100% he's going to be on my team someday. But that's what I said. I was talking to Tessa, I was like, that's not very smart. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to be real. And I think, started the story. Really got up on a tangent there. 8 months in, I couldn't afford to buy my girlfriend 3 flowers. And I told Tessa, I walked up from the basement. I said, I'm done. I was like, I've been doing this for 8 months, and I'm done. And, I look back on that, and I think we can all agree, when you feel that way, look at what you've done. Because sometimes people complain about where they're at. Well, how many new people did you talk to last month? None? Okay. Well, you have no reason to be upset. You know what I mean? And I think that, a lot of us in here, and here's what I think about. Minnie and I talked a lot about this morning, which to that guy I was referring to earlier who just joined Jeunesse, I don't need him. He needs me. And it's truly the way I think. Would he benefit my business tremendously? Absolutely. But he needs me a lot more than I need him. And my eyes have been opened up a lot in the last 30 days of just how dirty this is one of the reasons why Jeff Olson loves the industry, but he also hates the industry, because there's a lot of dirty stuff that happens. And you guys should feel good knowing that you're in a safe environment, you're in a place that's going to be here forever. Imagine, we were talking about earlier, imagine if you were lucky enough to be at the beginning of Amway, to be at the beginning of Mary Kay, and most of the people that got involved back then, most of them quit. Most of them quit. But the ones that just kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it, now they live a life that they never imagined. Imagine if you were lucky enough to be in a dorm room with Mark Zuckerberg when he's talking about Facebook. Because like 3 or 4 of those guys thought it was a bad idea, and the other ones that did that with him, they're all multi-billionaires. So imagine if you were that lucky. Well, you are that lucky. You're that lucky, right? You're that lucky right now. And it doesn't matter if you're a good person or you've had a rough past or anything like that. If you don't go to work, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Some of my best friends, some of the groomsmen in my wedding, who are people I would do anything for. They're in my business, and they don't do squat. And it's hard. It's hard, isn't it? When you really have someone on your team that you care about, and you want it more than they do. Does anybody have somebody on their team that you want more than they do? We all do, unless you don't have anybody on your team yet. You will. They have to make that decision. The day that I realized that no one was coming to my rescue, Tessa's not going to place any more people under you, no one's going to buy your auto ship again, all that stuff. No one's going to buy 14 Blitz packs so you'll go to senior director. When I realized that no one was coming to my rescue, like, okay, we got to do it. And a lot of people in here, hopefully not, but, it might not be your time. But what I can tell you is make it your time. You can decide any time you want. This is going to be the time, this is going to be my time. Like, make it your time. It just, raise your hand if your business today is not where you want it to be. We all want more and better, but by the way, when I go on these rants, I'm going to shut up here in a second. When I go on these rants, nights, I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself more than anybody. There's many nights my wife, I'm pretty sure she thinks I'm a psycho, because I'll leave the house and I'll just start walking down our gravel road. And it's 30 minutes of Cole talking to Cole. Does anybody else talk to themselves? I talk to myself when I drive down the road. If I'm not listening to Jeff Olson or Jim Rohn or Darren Hardy, I'm talking to myself. And you have to give yourself, motivation is like taking a bath. You can't get motivated once and you're good forever. It's a daily thing. Although there's some people, towards the end of, last 4 days of the month, bathing's optional. We have too much work to do. But it's just a daily thing. It's a daily, you got to motivate yourself daily. You are the person responsible for motivating yourself. Somebody on my team the other day, they're not here. They've never been to a regional. They've never, which is, whatever. They complain to me that they're not where they're at because I am not doing a good job enough of motivating them. I didn't sign up in Nerium to be your motivational, whatever, guru. I mean, at a certain point in time, we've got to decide, I'm doing this, And if you're at the place where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you're in the funk, probably half the people in this room have the funk. That's just a guess. I have the funk about once a day, and it's just the truth. It's a roller coaster. Once a day, I'm in the funk, and it's all right. Let's do this. You gotta talk yourself out of it, and that's just massive and immediate action. I can tell you this, if you don't tell your friends about Nerium, because you're scared, or whatever it is, if you don't tell your friends about Nerium, somebody else will. That's just the facts. So, you guys know my story. We're like 15 minutes in, so do whatever you want to do.
I'm going to change.
Oh, we have slides too, don't we?
Yeah. Am I on?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Can I hang on? Is that going to bother anybody? One of my main jobs in life right now is just to breathe and get enough oxygen throughout the day. So, if you heard anybody gasping for air back then, that was me. Every 5 minutes. My name is Lacy Berryman. I'm from here in Kansas City now. I've been here 11 years. And I don't know if you know my background. Some of you do, maybe some of you don't. When I was 20 years old, it was the first time that I took a look at this industry. I was a junior in college at Overland State University and met my, at that point, future husband. And so we met through Amway. Funny that you brought that up. We were involved with that company for a little over 9 years, I believe. And so that's where I really cut my teeth in the industry. Learned more than I think I could have learned in any other realm of business or education or just life, And made some good money there. I've got 2 girls at home, a little boy on the way. And I was able to stay home with my first child because we made a full-time income from Amway. We were not rich, but we were able to, I was at least able to stay home with her. And so that is one of my big whys. I've never had to go to work with one of my kids, and that's huge for me because I look at other moms, I work with other moms, and I see them have to leave. And I know some moms want to go, and that's okay. That is absolutely okay, but I did not. And I know there are moms in my business that do not want to. And so that is a big drive for myself personally, but also for my team. I know that's a hot button for a lot of women. And so anyway, that's kind of my background. Fast forward 9 years in Amway. A lot of things went really right, and a few things went really wrong, and here I am. So we left that a few years ago. I was not looking to stay in direct sales at all. I really was not. My husband and I tried our hand at a few different businesses. We've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, but I just didn't think I wanted to be part of direct sales anymore, based off of my experience before. And so was not looking for Nerium. A guy by the name of Jerry Heiderscheit, maybe some of you guys know him in here from Western Kansas. He gave me a call one day. He sent me some messages throughout about a 15-month period of time on Facebook. And when I say I was closed off, I mean I was closed. I knew what he wanted, you know. I mean, I'm not dumb. I was in Amway for 9 years. I know how this works. It's a cat and mouse game. Okay, so he was sending me messages, but he was a great guy. I knew him from Amway, him and his wife, and I kind of watched his business on Facebook, honestly. He sort of did an announcement, I think. Maybe he was in a new company, and I called it Nexam at the time. I had no idea, whatever. Okay, great. And I have seen sort of their success level with Amway, and nothing against, he would tell you if he was standing here right now, so don't think I'm bashing on it, but they didn't make a whole lot of money with Amway, and they put a whole lot of time and money into Amway. Maybe I should stop saying the word. Is that like illegal? That former business. Sorry, I don't know. Anyway, so when he announced he was in a new company, I was like, oh, good for him. That's great. I hope he does well. I want nothing to do with it, but that's great. And then about 5 months later, he went full-time with his business, and he was driving a Lexus with the company, and I saw this all from Facebook, right? Because I'm not going to talk to him about it, but I definitely was watching third-party style, And I was like, this is unbelievable. And I went and I told, I think some people, Sydney, sorry, I'm looking back at part of my team back there, but a girl that lived with us at the time as part of our team now, I went and told her, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so awesome for this couple. She's like, what are you talking about? And I was just over the moon excited for them, that they had hit this level, because I saw what they had done before and how hard they worked and yada, yada, yada. But I still wasn't interested for myself. But I was super happy for the underdog, right? And so I just keep watching. He's kind of sending me messages back and forth. And finally, about 15 months later, he said, can I just send you a product to try? And at that time, I think I was 31. Yeah, 31. So I was like, yeah, I better try something. Then he would post before and after. So he sent me a bottle. I tried the product. Within 3 days, I saw personal results. And so there you go. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? And that's how we grow our business, is sample, 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 which I love, because we can be so upfront with people. Because the business I did before was just a fulfillment. I don't know what the percentages were, but I was guessing probably 95% of all the product was bought by distributors and not by customers. So, yeah, they got a large legal team, I'm guessing, keeps them right on out of that hot water. But anyway, so I tried the product, saw some awesome results. My husband tried it, awesome results. Still, I was just so like, oh, I don't, just please don't talk to me about this, please. I don't even want to make myself look at it. But finally, we did. We opened up, we took a look at the opportunity, and we couldn't pass it up. We just really couldn't. And it's funny, I was just talking to, I met a new lady 2 nights ago at the gym, and was talking to her about business, well, just life, and then of course it turned into business, and it was great to be able to tell her, my experience, I know what I was looking for when I saw Nerium. Some of you, who in here, this is their first company, or first experience in the industry? Okay, a lot of you. So you don't really have, you kind of have to just take our word for it here. But you've got Mindy with experience in other companies, and Cole with experience in other companies, and I could tell her with absolute confidence, like, I knew what I wanted out of Nerium, and I knew exactly what I did not want out of Nerium, because I had 9 years to figure that out with another company. What I liked, what I didn't like in the industry, and I can tell you, Nerium has surpassed every expectation. Jeff Olson, the leadership team, I can't talk about that enough. If you want to pursue business and be an entrepreneur and have the success that you see at a Get Real conference or some of these leaders up here today, this is absolutely the right place at the right time. I mean, you could not be with a better company, with better leadership, better foundation, better vision, just the purity that's gone into building the foundation of this company. It's phenomenal. It really is. And if you don't have anything to compare it to, I realize you might feel like we just constantly say that to you, but I would also warn, don't go try another one and come back. Okay, just take our word for it. So anyhow, I'm kind of off on a tangent, but I wrote a couple of things down as everyone was talking. It kind of sounds like Kansas City is going or been through the refiner's fire. Yeah, and that's okay. You know what? Because again, my experience with the other company, I've had a few thousand people on my team, and I've watched it get pruned back to hundreds of people on my team. But you know what it does? To me, this is exciting because, okay, who's been in this since the beginning? Who's been in Nerium? It's like 3 or 4 years ago. So some of you, awesome. You're still here. You're foundational people. Okay, was this room probably busting at the seams, or a room this size when you first got in, and people, I think Amy said, people were popping on NMD in 3 months, and the excitement of the new business, and so there was more people here, right? I wasn't here, but I'm guessing that's right. Okay, well, organizations and businesses, just in my experience of watching in my own team, but also I've been able to watch lots and lots of other people's teams and leaders and organizations. And you see them pop, and they get real big, and everything's really, really exciting. And then they go through this pruning phase, and I'm sure you've heard the word pruning before. And you get cut back, but just like a plant, and I am not a green thumb here, okay? By any means. But just like a plant, it goes through a pruning stage. There's a purpose to the pruning stage. It's to weed out all the, for lack of a better word, junk. Okay, weeds. Weed out weeds. So that there's a core team that can get ready to launch again, and the next growth phase will be even bigger and better. And the root I've been through the refiner's fire too. I didn't plan any of my kids either, so I don't know what this is all about, but it's all good. It's all good. But I'm learning. When I was in my big run with my other company, we went 9 nights a week, crazy, hair on fire, but I didn't have any kids, and so I am really learning how to be a mom, be a wife, be a business owner, and unfortunately, that's taken me a little longer than I would have hoped. But that's okay. So I've been going through my own personal thing, but I can just feel in the room that people are sort of, going through it, and that's okay. I just want you to know that I want to bring a little bit of hope based on what I've seen before, is that I feel like Kansas City has just been in a pruning phase, setting the foundation for what's to come. And so I'm excited about that. Okay, so do we want to just start with some slides here? I don't know. Sure. How do we do this?
You've got like an hour and a half based on the way everybody else rolled.
Yeah, I know how that works. You might get to for one time, and then you won't be up there for another year again. Okay, so where are we at? Do you want to go ahead and just introduce Nerium Lifestyle?
Sure. So I've done a few incentive trips with Nerium, and they're just phenomenal. It'll make you a lifer for sure. As I mentioned earlier today, if somebody would have said I would even own a passport 5 years ago, I would have said you're crazy. Since then I've been to Cancun twice and the Bahamas, and it's crazy. It's crazy when you're standing in the ocean and you have the waiters bringing you shots to the beach. You gotta be careful. I found out you gotta be careful. I think one morning I had like 2 Bloody Marys for breakfast at 9 a.m. So you gotta be careful. So anyway, what's cool is instead of reserving the trip now for higher level people, national marketing directors, and what they used to do, now it's open for everybody. And if this is your first day in Nerium, or you've been in for 3 years, everyone can be on this trip. And I absolutely love it. There's a lot of people on my team who, the NLC club has, relit their fire. And it's just another example of how Jeff Olson, here's one thing I love about Jeff Olson. And I think this is one of the reasons why Mindy and I had never heard of Jeff Olson. There's a lot of guys out there who create success in network marketing, and then they become the network marketing guy who's always on Facebook, YouTube, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But Jeff Olson, with this level of success that he's created, he's not that guy. He's been too busy building a business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's actually doing stuff where some people get to $10,000, $20,000 a month, which is great. Don't get me wrong. That's awesome. But then they turn into, guru God. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we're always doing a level of coaching to some degree or another when you get higher up. But Jeff never got that big head where he wanted to be the deal. He comes up, he talks on stage, he's wearing, a collared shirt and black pants. Like that's who he is. He's not all about the show, the bling bling, all that stuff. And it's kind of disgusting, I think, a lot of times in our industry when you see that. And I mean, just like the slight edge, he's like basically giving that away. And that's just another example. What I was talking about is he is all about the little guy. He's not about the company I mentioned earlier. They do these backdoor deals. If you read that FTC article, they pay people $250,000. Hey, we're going to give you $250,000 cash and bring your team over. Jeff doesn't do that stuff. He wants it organic. He wants the dishwasher at Applebee's to have the same opportunity as the person who's had 10 years of MLM experience. He wants it all the same. As Lacy mentioned earlier, I've had people join my team from other companies, and they were going to pass Mark Smith. They were going to pass everybody. And where'd they go? I don't know. I don't know where they went.
I forgot to tell you, I have kind of the same story. My guy was a founder of Prove It, but he was going back and forth between Nerium and Prove It. He was actually on the phone with Jeff Olson.
Yeah, I had
And he went. So
I had probably
Oh,
30 people on my team join Prove It. I don't care. I'm glad they did. Those are the people who we've said like 7 companies.
Yeah.
It's and the guys that were on my team to join Prove It, they're hoppers. They're going from deal to deal to deal. There's just no way you can do that. It's hard enough to build Nerium. You know what I mean? Let alone, it just takes too much. So, anyway, lifestyle. Let me grab that clicker. And we know how we get the points here. Brand partner, 2 points per customer. Customer gets a customer. You guys can read, obviously, but it's so. The fact that you can get a point from your customer getting a customer, it's unbelievable. Florida by artist, it's down south. It's on the other side of the Mexico. Got to qualify for 12 straight months. And here's what I can say. If you fell out last month, do whatever it takes to get your 3 brand partners this month. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. I called somebody on the 29th of last month. They had 3 points. They had 3 points. And I said, all right, let's do it. And she goes, oh, I'm not gonna make it. What? There's 36, whatever, 72 hours, whatever. I was like, there's 3 days left. What are you talking about? Sign your grandma up. You know, you're not willing to spend $80 to get a $4,000 trip? Do whatever it takes, you know? So do whatever it takes. I can promise you, if you're sitting here and you haven't got your 3 brand partners this month, make a list of 100 people. You can get 97 of them wrong. You can blow it on 97 of them. And call your upline. You know, they'll help you do it.
I was going to say, I think with NLC, it's a brilliant program. And Mark Smith has said many times when he introduced the program, also on phone calls, I wrote this down so I didn't get it wrong, I think. But he and Tammy have made tens of millions of dollars with an NLC type program. Over the years in their experience with the industry, tens of millions of dollars. And so another thing I wrote down, just thinking, listening to everyone, and knowing how this industry works, you got to fight to stay new. You got to fight in your mind to stay brand new. And just like you're talking to yourself, I'm talking to myself, okay? Because anybody can grow old in their mindset. Anybody can be wiser than the system. Anybody can look for any kind of crack. It doesn't take any energy or any faith or any belief at all to become wiser than the system that you're a part of. It does take energy to stay brand new. And if you will stay brand new, you'll get the results. You know, Mark Smith, I think he's so good at his job because he and Tammy absolutely fight to stay right in that jet stream. You know, they're not, and they could. They've been doing this how many years? I don't know, 17-something years. They very well could just be, you know, we've got thousands and thousands of people on our team. We can go out there, we can give a little talk.
They're always in the top 10.
Yeah, but they are absolutely right in the jet stream, and that is the kind of leadership you want to follow. And that, for me, is what I'm telling myself. I need to stay brand new, and it's a fight to stay brand new. Why do you, Jen and Tony, I think you said you sponsored 5 people your first month? Because, sorry, I'm going to just use a network marketing cliche. What is it? Ignorance on fire? Not that you're ignorant. But you didn't know anything. You know, you're brand new. You don't know anything, but you're excited, and that's what sponsors people. So that's just one example of fighting to stay brand new. Nerium Lifestyle Club, you got to fight to stay brand new because it's the way you qualify is you sponsor brand partners, you sponsor customers. Or you do the little things that you did at first because basics build a big business. And that's the really hard part about network marketing that I've found and that I've seen in other people that, you know, they do well, and then all of a sudden, you know, over the years, it's like they just get pushed out. Is because they got too wise in their own eyes. You know, they couldn't stay true to the basic foundational building blocks of a business. And that is what gives us success, you know. And so when I hear Mark Smith talk about Nerium Lifestyle Club, I know there's 2 people. I'm thinking as a leader, but I also need to be thinking for 80% of my team. You know, you heard the 80%ers. Most people, like I've got a couple on my team right now, they're a teacher, they're on Jessica's team, they're a teacher, and a cop. Okay, so far their schedule has not allowed them to come to a regional. They've been in, I don't know, 5 or 6 months, something like that. They want to, but their crazy life schedule has not allowed them to be here. But in LC Club, they've qualified every single month since it came out. And so what it does, so I'm talking to 2 groups of people when I think about NLC. I'm talking talking to leaders, people in this room, senior directors, you want to build a big team, executive directors, you want to hit the next level. You're looking at your team like, how can I build building blocks of NLC qualifiers? Because Mark Smith said it made him tens of millions. Why can't it make me tens of millions? And then I'm talking to people who are not thinking leadership. They're not building huge teams right now, and that's okay. That's not where their commitment's at. They've got a few hours a month they can commit to the business, and that's awesome. So I need to know who I'm talking to and how to talk to them. And I think it's awesome that Nerium gives an 80%er an executive style reward just for being consistent with their few hours a month. I think that is phenomenal because, again, I've been in other places where if you weren't 9 nights a week, hair on fire, going crazy, have this big, large team, the rewards just simply weren't there for you. The rewards were, well, here's what we sold you, the intangibles, which are true. Intangibles are good, right? Friendships, the associations, and all that. But that without, this is a business, That was one of the things that I really got turned off about the prior company, was that, that's great. We're all doing really great and all, but nobody's making any money. So with Nerium, you get to make money, you get executive style rewards just for consistency, even if you can't do this full time, and you also get to change and become a different person. And so, anyway, I am a big proponent of NLC. Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
Yeah, 30
Take
seconds
it away.
left. Okay. All in August. Who's all in August? All right. 3 brand partners. If you missed, here's how fast time goes by. Here's why you want to be in. Here's why you want to be in Puerto Vallarta, because it's going to feel like in 30 days you're in Puerto Vallarta. When we're in Puerto Vallarta, you're going to think, man, that year went by quick. So you might as well just do it. You might as well just do it. If you missed, get your 3 brand partners. If you haven't, we all have the opportunity to get $500. I don't care if you're a national marketing director or what. $500 is a big deal to me. It's a really big deal. Heck. Talk about that. And today is Sample Saturday. Who's going to get some samples out today? What's brilliant? And then we have the calling party, August 28th. Calling parties are great. You don't have to wait till then to do it. Do one then.
Yeah,
And
sorry, Cole.
Go ahead, please.
With calling parties, I love what you said about doing business in Japan and other places and Zoom and phone calls, basically. We didn't do product parties. I can tell you, just from my experience, I think probably because this is what I use in my other life, other business, to grow. When I hit every single rank that I hit, basically, is because of calling parties. Absolutely. And we didn't limit it to 1 time a week. We went on about a 3-month run from 4-month run, and we were doing probably 2 to 3 calling parties a week, and if I wasn't at a calling party, I was doing calls on my own. And I think they're extremely effective because you do things better in a group setting than you do on your own, even if you're a leader. It's motivating. It's, when you're with your peers, it's peer pressure for a reason. It can be negative or positive. And I chose to, I want to harness the power of positive peer pressure, and I do it for myself. So we would book calling parties, would we not? And we were flying through the ranks just because of calling parties. Getting people on the phone, sending videos, doing 3-way calls, utilizing the system, but just speeding it up. You can do 2 a day, which is awesome. We all should be doing 2 a day, no doubt about it, for consistency. But I think if you're not doing calling parties, or if you've never done one, you should at least try it, because we had absolutely exponential growth, success, explosion because of calling parties. So Anyway, at this point, we're wrapped up with the slides. Thank you for listening. I think we're going to invite all the NMDs up on stage.